2 minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome into it. Hey, happy post-Monday celebration. Greatest day of the week, man. We are setting that tone, doing the thing. There's a lot to cover today. We got an update on the Iranian conflicts going on right now. We have hearings with Kristi Noem and the Department of Homeland Security. We have that going on. Plus, more people celebrating around the world. What does that look like? And, of course, election days. So, yeah, plenty of things to talk about. It's going to be an exciting one. Plus, we have the New York Times #1 best-selling author for investigative journalism and his new book, The Invisible Coup, with Peter Schweitzer on the program. I know, kind of awesome. That being said, like it out, share it out, leave that comment, break the algorithm. Let's do this thing for a Tuesday. Hang tight. Here we go.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Broadcasting from the heart of the nation, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Oh, yes, it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome into it. It is your post-Monday celebration. Greatest day of the entire week. And boy, do we have a loaded show for you today. There is plenty to talk about. Ongoing updates with Iran and that conflict. We have people celebrating around the world. I don't know why. It's kind of crazy how excited people are, except for, of course, one group of individuals, and that is, of course, the American Democrat Party. So we will get to all that here in just a minute. Plus, we have hearings from Kristi Noem and the Department of Homeland Security. That's kind of exciting. And, of course, the pushback from Democrats. Election day today in certain areas of the country. It is going to be a what?
And I think we're going to make it bigly.
A bigly show indeed. So strap in, buckle up, let's have some fun. And, of course, our big guest of the day today, a New York Times #1 best-selling investigative journalist author and the author of the new book, The Invisible Coup, Peter Schweitzer on the program today. That's kind of exciting, right?
Say what?
I know. So really cool. Really looking forward to all of it, and welcome into it. As usual, broadcasting out of the heart of the nation in Wichita, Kansas, on our flagship radio station. But we are all over the country with so many great radio affiliates and more coming on board here soon, doing our thing.
Do it live!
As we do every single day here on the program. Before we get to all of that, which was a lot already in an hour time, so we're going to cram a lot into this program. Have you been watching? I don't know if you've seen the little buzz on the street, but the videos have officially dropped from the Epstein file hearings and the deposition between Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton with Congress on the Epstein issues, and they're kind of fun. Now, if you remember on day #1, what was it, Thursday last week, when Hillary Clinton sat down and did her deposition, there was a picture that leaked from Congresswoman Lauren Boebert from the state of Colorado, and it was shared to Benny Johnson, a political influencer on social media and social media guru, if you want to put him that way, and he posted the picture of Hillary in the deposition. Well, she was not happy about that. Now, I've listened to probably an hour of the 4-hour-long deposition that's online. You can see the entire thing. They have the audio. They have the video. You can see exactly what their reactions are throughout the entire thing. She got a little testy when that happened, and that video, or that picture, actually leaked on social media from Benny Johnson through Congresswoman Lauren Boebert and her team, putting a kibosh on all that as they went after the Republicans.
Of the Secretary as she is testifying from inside this room. Can you please advise me as to whether or not that's permissible and consistent with the rules, particularly given that we have asked for a public hearing. If there are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying, can you please explain how that
I'm
can
done
occur?
with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's
So I would like
sake.
to understand how that's permissible.
Before the hearing was,
It doesn't
Excuse
matter.
me.
We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So I
well,
would like to take a break at this moment.
yeah,
and I'd like to have
I'm
a
done
conversation.
for now.
I'm done. And gets up and just storms out of the room. No, this is it's so weird to me. It's so petty. And she tries to play it as the pettiness from Republicans. Should Congresswoman Lauren Boebert have actually posted that? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't really care. The weird part is that while the Democrats and Hillary wanted to try and make this public, and that's why they advised for the video and tried to instigate for the audio for all this to come out and the recording, but they were upset about the picture coming out. I find that just kind of strange. Doesn't really pass the smell test, if you know what I mean. So it's all on there. If you go to Right Side Broadcasting Network on YouTube, you can see the entire deposition with Hillary and, of course, Bill, which the Bill one, I've not listened to that one quite yet. I have seen highlights and clips. Very entertaining. Bill Clinton, who's obviously getting up there in age now, was sitting there looking at all the pictures of him getting the massages from the girls and hanging out on Epstein Island and all the girls in the bikinis. And he's sitting there laughing. His attorney has to actually take the pictures away from him because he's sitting there Googling them as he's sitting there watching and smiling and smirking, reminiscing of the good old days. Well done, Bill. You haven't changed a bit, have you? Haven't changed a bit. All right, let's get into what's trending here, shall we? We've got a lot to talk about today.
What's trending today?
All right, first and foremost, let's get an update on the ongoing conflicts going on in Iran as President Donald Trump met with, I want to say, the German chancellor today and was in the Oval Office talking, and then to give an update on Iran where there was another attack or another bombing in Iran when the Ayatollah, the regime, had tried to get together to find their new leader, and then poof, all of the leaders now, where we're like 50 ranked together on a vote, this seems to happen.
The big scale hitting goes now. They no longer have air protection. They no longer have any detection facilities at all left. And so they're gonna be in for a lot of hurt. These are bad people. These are people that killed. I guess it's 35,000. It's coming out 35,000 over the last 3 weeks. Protesters, 35,000 violently killed. So these are bad people, and the leader of the pack is gone. And as you know, 49 people were taken out in the first hit, and I guess there was another hit today on the new leadership, and it looks like that was pretty substantial also.
All right, so President Trump also saying that he was actually planning on choosing potentially or leaning into one of those that was in that pack that was going to be the new leader, but that wouldn't have really changed anything. We need to clear the slate completely and again allow the Iranian people to actually make their leader, and whoever that's going to be, not quite sure yet, but it can't be anybody of the radical Islamic mindset. It needs to be someone of the Persian persuasion, so to speak, and we need to find a new leader that's going to take Iran in a completely different direction that's going to be a great ally to the United States. Because if you've seen still my social media blowing up across the board with worldly rallies, people all over the world, Australia and Canada and the United States, Washington, D.C., and L.A., down in South America, over in Europe, all over the place. There are rallies and cries of this is one of the greatest moves of any president, any world leader in modern American history. In fact, they're saying that the Ayatollah and the leaders that we were seeing in Iran were, based on the horrendous acts that they have done to the Iranian people, were up there with Stalin and with Putin and with all of these radical dictators that have slaughtered thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. And it's time for the world to celebrate the end of radicalism and death and tyranny in the world.
He is a liberator and a hero around the world. I'm monitoring world press. I'm monitoring the press in the Middle East. And you cannot believe the respect for America, the respect for President Trump, all throughout the Arabic world, even including in Lebanon, where Hezbollah is headquartered. Even the majority of the Lebanese are rejoicing, of course not the Shiite Muslims, rejoicing of what President Trump did. This is a historic moment because Khomeini, the Ayatollah, the supreme leader, was so influential and an important figure in history. He was equivalent to Lenin or Joseph Stalin or Mao Zedong. And to take him out. This is changing reshaping the world. This is great news, and of course the Iranians are celebrating worldwide. If you are a freedom-loving person anywhere throughout the world right now, you are rejoicing, unless you're a Democrat in the United States.
Well, by the way, that was Brigitte Gabrielle. Big fan of her. We've had her on the program a few times already before as well throughout the years. I mean, well done on that one. It's true. It's true. Everybody's celebrating. People realize what the heck Iran was doing. They realize the kind of totalitarianism, the authoritarianism, the Islamist regime, the slaughtering of tens of thousands of people, the forceful conversion into radical Islam, the subhuman treatment that women got and that others got in that nation was absolutely abhorrent. And we have now Democrat protesters. Yeah, real protests going on, not the celebrations and people cheering, real protesters that are wearing hijabs, that are covering their face, and that are angry about the move, wanting to put this regime back into power. That's the Democrat Party now. So they're stuck in a quandary. Democrat leaders obviously can't come out and do that because they realize the horrendous things that were going on there. So the only thing the Democrat Party can do is go after the process. Congress didn't get the approval. Congress didn't actually approve it themselves. That the White House didn't actually give them the update on what they were going to do, which is completely bogus. If you remember, there was a meeting last week, and Chuck Schumer came to the microphone out in the halls, and it was very brief, and they had just come out of a meeting about discussing Iran and what was going to happen there, and Chuck Schumer came up to the microphone and said, look, we've been briefed on everything. We know what's going on. It's going to be up to the Trump administration in order to win over and explain it to the American people and what we're going to do, and he walked off. Didn't answer any questions, didn't do anything. Made the statement, and he was gone. So they already knew. Hakeem Jeffries, on the other hand, didn't quite get that memo, which is kind of typical for the Democrat Party right now that's in their civil war. They're not quite on the same page, not getting their proper talking points from the DNC, which makes them very vulnerable because when they start thinking for themselves, it doesn't work out too well for them.
We should be spending taxpayer dollars to drive down the high cost of living, not funding Donald Trump's unlawful, unauthorized, and unconstitutional endless war, to use his terms, in the Middle East.
Absolutely insane. So they're going back to apparently their rhetoric on an election day, by the way, which we'll cover here in just a bit. Going into midterm season, they're going back to the talking point of affordability and then talking about unconstitutionality. Like these guys, the unconstitutionality? Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Absolutely insane. Here's the thing. And I think for the average American person, we just want results, right? We understand there's a process. We don't always understand how the process is done because of all the legal garbage and how they try to put all this red tape in with how government's supposed to work. You're allowed to do this, not allowed to do that, got to do these votes, filibuster votes, supermajority votes, whatever. All right, we don't quite understand the process sometimes, but we understand that we want results. And most of the time, that's bad because most of the time the Democrats have conditioned us. I take that back. It's not a party thing. It's more of an ideological thing. The progressive movement in this nation has conditioned you and I to say when we want something done, we demand Congress or we demand government to do it. That government is the Gandalf riding down the hill on the great white horse ready to save the day after the year-long battle. That, we're looking for the government for the solutions. Government do something, right? We hear that all the time after a shooting. Government do something. When the gas prices go high, government do something. When the economy gets bad, government do something. When, we have a higher amount of accidents in a community, government do something. Like we always turn to the government to try and solve these things when we should be realizing that government's really kind of ineffective. We shouldn't be really relying on them to do anything. They pass a couple resolutions. They make us feel better about it, and the problem never actually gets solved. So right now, the vast majority of Americans that are conditioned to say government do something want results. In the promises that Democrats have given for years, progressive ideology is just kind of a summation of the Democrats and many portions of the Republican Party as well. With the progressive movement, we demand results because they've been promising to do this. They've been promising to do things for a long time. Barack Obama threatened to invade Iran. Hillary Clinton threatened to invade Iran. She ended up selling them nuclear weapons and uranium, but she threatened to actually go after Iran. Joe Biden tried to threaten to go after Iran when they said, what are you going to do if Iran escalates things? Don't. What was Kamala Harris's response? Hey, what if Iran threatens things? What are you going to do? Don't. That was their response. Donald Trump did it. And now they're angry because, again, it took another talking point off of their platform. They can't say we're going to resolve the issue because the issue is being resolved as we speak. It took away another campaign talking point. So the only thing they can complain about is not the fact that he did it, because if they said, no, we don't want you to take off a really bad regime that's considered the Mussolini or the Hitler or the whatever of our time that was slaughtering thousands of people through the idea of communism and fascism and tyranny, we can't not support the movement. The only thing we can do is just support the process and how it was actually done. But the American people don't care. As long as we have our gas prices that are low, which did go up a little bit, they'll go back down. We talked to our friends over at Power of the Future on the program yesterday about that. As long as we start seeing the things that we're looking for, including, by the way, a safer world, we don't care how the process is done. We just want to see the results. Donald Trump is a result giver. You may not like the results, but he's a result giver, and Democrats can't deny that right now.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. Hey, did you know that you can have multiple different networks on one single smartphone? Well, with Patriot Mobile, you can. It's time for you to sign up for the Patriot Mobile primary phone plan with plans as low as $15 a month, where you can have 2 numbers and 2 networks on one single phone. And right now, if you sign up using the promo code REASON, you can get an entire month absolutely free. It's the Patriot Mobile One plan. 1 phone, 2 numbers, and 2 networks. And it's all at patriotmobile.com/reason. Again, patriotmobile.com, and use the promo code REASON.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did 2 guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
When reason meets radio. This is the voice of reason with Andy
All
Hooser.
right, welcome back into the program. Great to have you here today for a post-Monday celebration. Plenty to talk about, things to do, trying to cram that 10 pounds of reason into that 5-pound bag, trying to rebrand the millennial generation, one radio listener at a time. I want to tell you about my friends over at Lean. Everybody's talking about weight loss injections because, well, the results are really dramatic. They work by lowering blood sugar, reducing appetites. But what if you're looking to lose weight and not be interested in the painful weekly injections, especially with some of the potential side effects that come along with it? That's why doctors created the weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are really remarkable. The studied ingredients in Lean have been shown to lower blood sugar, burn fat by converting it to energy, and curb your appetite and cravings so you're just not as hungry. But Lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. Doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for frustrated dieters that want to lose 10 pounds or more. I've been taking it since January 1. I feel great, and I'm down over 10 pounds myself right now, just over 2 months in. Let's get you started right now. This promo code's almost done in the next week or so use the promo code now. 20% off your first order and free rush shipping. And we can help add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Go to TakeLean.com and enter the promo code REASON, REASON, TakeLean.com, enter the promo code REASON. That promo code will not be valid here the next week or so if you're going to do it right now. Do this journey with me at TakeLean.com and use that promo code REASON. All right, I know I'm hearing the screaming in my ears right now from listeners saying, wait a second, Andy, there is a process. It's called a constitutional process, and you have to follow the constitutional process, especially when it comes to something like war, and we have to do a declaration of war, or at least we should be. And as conservatives, we've been advocating for that idea for a very long time. And I'm right there with you. I want to be very clear. I'm right there with you. We need to get back to the constitutional principles of if we're going to do a war, if we're going to do a conflict, to actually do it proper, to have a declaration of war, and to go about the proper process. Here's the thing. We still have an executive branch. They still are the commander-in-chief, being the president of the United States, and we still are capable of actually using the military. And are we really going to be hung up at this moment right now? We're not out there starting wars all over the place. In fact, Donald Trump has used the military very little, and what he has, that's been precise strikes, not a full-on war. As Pete Hegseth mentioned yesterday in his press statements, that we're not doing a 20-year long-term conflict. We're not getting into an actual war, but what we are doing is removing one of the most evil regimes in the world at this modern-day time. Our modern-day Mussolini, our modern-day Hitler, our modern-day whatever, the most horrible regime on the face of the earth that has now led to worldwide people praising the Trump administration right now. Are we really going to use and play by the progressive Democrat mindset of hiding behind the rules all of a sudden when they're the ones that break the rules more than anybody else? Let's just be clear here. They have an entire 80% of the federal budget that is social programs that by definition are completely unconstitutional, while they want to complain about not having oversight on the military right now. Come on, man.
The celebration is striking. We got here just moments after initial reports, initial rumors of the death of Ayatollah Khamenei had just started to trickle from Iran to this diaspora community, and people were jumping in excitement, hugging each other, crying, saying that basically they've been waiting 47 years for this very day, Jessica.
When is the last time you saw people in Israel and Iran dancing on the streets in excitement? And when is the last time you've ever heard of a country coming out and dancing because they're excited that foreign powers are attacking them?
My message to President Trump is that I'm here to echo and join millions of my compatriots inside and outside of Iran to thank him for having done and having the courage to do what is not easy, but intervene. And he will go down in the annals of Iranian history as the most celebrated foreign leader that changed the ball game and changed the world as a result.
Yeah, it's a really great point. You got to ask yourself, when was the last time you had people of their own nation asking a foreign nation like the United States to attack them and invade and take out their government? Doesn't happen very often. There's a big difference between getting involved in something for our own interest and actually helping people out that are desperately asking for it and have been for 47 years, and people have been too scared or political powers refuse to let them do it.
With Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left finds new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back. And that's where we can help. Head to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can find our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Let us know your thoughts on current events with different surveys and chat rooms. And keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Plus, when you head to the website, you can always get great deals and different offers from all of our great radio partners. Finally, if you want more of the show, you can find our podcasts with all of our great episodes and your favorite guests. And make sure to check out the latest Voice of Reason infomercials and maybe some other special content. And it's all because of you being part of the Hoosier-holic family. Let's continue to fight for conservative common sense principles together by going to HooserReason.com. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
Truth, reason, and common sense. This is the voice of reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, just welcome back into the program. Great to have you today for a post-Monday celebration. Greatest day of the entire week as we are covering a lot of ground today for sure on the program. By the way, if you want more information on it, check out our website, HooserReason.com, HOOSER Reason.com. I cannot wait to announce a slew of new affiliates on the program now that the weekday program is officially syndicated on the satellite, which we've already had some great affiliates beforehand, but now we're official. And then, of course, our big monster broadcast on the weekend as well. So check it all out with all of our great affiliates on the website at HooserReason.com. The podcast, if you want it, by typing in the full name of the show on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. The attack today in Iran, kind of hilarious. Donald Trump talking about what leadership looks like moving forward.
Well, most of the people we had in mind are dead. So, we had some in mind from that group that is dead. And now we have another group. They may be dead also, based on reports. So I guess you have a third wave coming, and pretty soon we're not going to know anybody.
Yeah, we're not going to know anybody. Well, that's maybe a good thing to see, where we can just start with a fresh, clean slate in Iran and let the people kind of make their own decision on that front. But very interesting. I love how they just all meet to try and vote in a nice little quiet room together, and they end up not lasting too long from that latest attack from Israel. All right, that being said, let's shift gears.
What's trending today?
Really excited to have our next guest on the program. I've been a fan of his for a long time. We're going to talk security. We'll talk about what's going on here in the nation, especially how it relates to his new book. There was a hearing today from Kristi Noem, Department of Homeland Security, with Congress, and talking about probably one of the biggest mic drop moments I've heard in a committee hearing for a while, when for some reason Democrats asked her if they were planning on having ICE agents at polling places for Election Day, which to me would be kind of a weird place to have ICE agents at, right?
Will you rule out the deployment of ICE or CBP to polling places this November?
There are no plans to have ICE officers at our polling locations. And
I'm glad to hear that, but would you rule it out? Would you say it will not happen?
Do you plan on illegal aliens voting in our elections, Senator?
I do not. In
okay,
fact,
then
the
there should be
Heritage
no need to, unless you plan on illegal aliens voting.
Mic drop moment. Let's talk about some of that with our next guest.
Let's go to the Hoosier Media Hotline.
That's right. Really happy to have on here. He is well-renowned, #1 New York Times bestselling investigative journalist and author of the new book, The Invisible Coup, How American Elites and Foreign Powers Use Immigration as a Weapon. Really excited and honored to have on the program Mr. Peter Schweitzer. Peter, how are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm great, Andy. Good to be with you.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on here, and congratulations, by the way, on the new book. It sounds exciting. I love how we have foreign policy happening right now. We have some of the largest numbers of deportations we've seen in a very long time, and yet the progressives are angry that we're going to potentially have ICE agents at voting locations. That seems kind of strange to me, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, the Democrats realized beginning in the 1990s that a major source of their political power is mass migration in immigrants in the country. One, by minting new voters, right? We all recognize and see the need for immigrants to come to the United States, but they see that it's important to minimize the standards by which new citizens come in. So every president, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, weakened the standards. They got rid of criminal background checks. They got rid of the literacy requirements to speak English. They got rid of the civics requirements because they want to mint new voters, because they determined that about 85% of new immigrants, at least in early elections, vote for Democrats. Yeah. But the other reason they want mass migration here is that illegals, even if they don't vote, it gives them political power, because our census upon which our congressional districts are decided, they don't count citizens, they count people, and that means they count illegals as well. So the state of California alone has 4 more members of Congress at minimum than they ordinarily would have, simply because of the presence of illegals. And that 4 votes, that's more than 13 U.S. states have for their congressional delegation. So it's a big source of political power. That's why they are fighting so hard for any deportations, and they want mass migration to continue.
Yeah, well, not only, like you said, not only loosening some of the rules, but under the Biden administration, obviously, importing intentionally massive amounts of individuals and then losing their minds when we not only started deporting, but when Trump wanted to ask the simple question on the census, are you a U.S. citizen, which they lost their minds over.
Yes, that's right. And that's, I think, one of the biggest misconceptions that people have. Democrats certainly try to paint this as we just care about people. We're pro-people and you're not. The fact of the matter is this is about political power, and that's the same reason you saw the violence in Minnesota that you see in Los Angeles. And it's a fusion of, Democrats, primarily progressives in the Democratic Party in the United States, but it's also these foreign entities that realize that immigration can be weaponized. This is not the immigration of 100 years ago or even 50 years ago. It's weaponized immigration because we're going to turn migrants into a political force. That's what they've been doing in many of these states. That involves the government of Mexico, China, and other entities that see a political advantage from doing so.
Yeah. This has been tried for a long time. It finally started to break ground and really start to gain some traction under, I guess, a little bit under Bush, when we were kind of laxated on some of the rules because, well, we need the working class. We need these people to work agriculture, that sort of thing. But then Barack Obama took it to an entirely different level. From your speculation, Peter, how many illegal aliens across the board do you think we have in this nation that's been imported over the past 20, 30 years?
It's hard to know. There are a lot of estimates, but most estimates that are authoritative put it at least 25 million, which is a sizable portion of the population. And look, this has been totally politicized. When you look at new citizenship, right, people that are taking the oath to become American citizens, every Democratic president from Bill Clinton on has used that as a means for their political advantage. So the biggest years that we've had for naturalizing U.S. citizens in the modern era were 1996, 2012, and 2024, all of which were re-election years for Democrats. And the reason they accomplished that was they ignored criminal background checks. There are reports that people were getting their citizenship approval when they were in prison because they water down the rules to push as many through the system as possible. So we need to be aware of that. We need to understand why this is taking place and take appropriate action.
What is the outcome, do you think, that's going to happen? And obviously, it's being done intentionally to keep the Department of Homeland Security shut down with the government funding issue. Republicans, in my opinion, were at fault for even allowing the separation of DHS funding away from the rest of the appropriations bills and allowing this conversation to be where it's at today. But what do you think this potential outcome is going to be, and how long could this go on as Democrats continue to hold up Homeland Security?
Well, I think the last time they did this, it kind of backfired on them politically. They thought it was going to be a political winner, but as time dragged on, it ended up being a loser. I think it's the same. I think it's the same case here. The bottom line is that when you look at most of the issues, whether it is should people show an ID for voting, should we have secure borders, should we do vetting of people that want to immigrate to the United States, those are all basically 80 to 20 issues. The problem for Democrats is this is a core part of their constituency, and particularly the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, which is predominant. They are quite explicit. I mean, I quote them extensively in the book as saying they need mass migration from the developing world because people that come from the developing world tend to be, there are always exceptions, but tend to be much more trusting of government in terms of wanting government to provide services. They're less individualistic, and that they are more collective in their mindset. And that is the core of the progressive message. So they need to import voters and they need to import supporters because they have not been able to win the public debate among the vast majority of the American people.
Got to bring in a whole lot of new people. We're talking with Peter Schweitzer, author of the new book, The Invisible Coup, How American Elites and Foreign Powers Use Immigration as a Weapon. By the way, debuting #1 on the New York Times bestseller list right out of the gate, and you can go and get your copy right now. With the deportation that we've seen already, I know that it's targeted towards quote-unquote criminal illegal aliens across the nation. That's been the focus of the Trump admin, Kristi Noem, and others. But with the, 3 to 4 maybe million deportation that we've seen so far, are we going to start seeing a change in the census numbers and maybe the demographic of where congressional lines may be drawn right now already?
Well, that's why California is fighting so hard, right? They need to get those numbers down. Each congressional district's about 800,000 voters. So if you go to a geographical state, like California or Illinois, and you're deporting people, that is going to cost congressional seats. But I think the other thing we need to do in addition to deportations is we need to recognize that when migrants come here, they're bringing with them not only their family and their culture, they're bringing their own political networks. And in the case of Mexico, Mexico has created inside the United States something that is a direct threat to our sovereignty. And I brought this up. I briefed President Trump, Secretary Rubio, Secretary Bessent in the Oval Office on this. Mexico has right now in the United States 12 senior officials that serve in the Mexican Parliament, the Mexican Senate, and their Chamber of Deputies. And their job is to represent Mexicans in the United States before the Mexican government.
Of course.
It's a massive intrusion into our country and into our sovereignty. And these individuals are not just, doing legislative work. They are organizing anti-ICE protests. One of them said he was organizing the militancy against Donald Trump in 2025. This is the kind of political interference we would not, be welcome to do in Mexico. I don't know why we allow them to do it in our country. So I think we need to look at dismantling these foreign political networks that have been set up by Mexico, China, by the Muslim Brotherhood that are manipulating our politics. We should have our politics, however raucous they are, debated and settled by Americans and not by these foreign interests.
Yeah, amen to that. Peter, we got about 20 seconds left here. Is Donald Trump making the world a safer place with what he's done so far?
I think he is. Venezuela, Iran, it's not just about those countries. This is about China. And I think there's a lot of heavy lifting ahead, but I'm very encouraged by what I'm seeing.
We're moving in the right direction. The Invisible Coup, how American elites and foreign powers use immigration as a weapon. Peter Schweitzer, we appreciate it very much, my friend. It's great to talk to you. Congratulations on the book. Would love to get you back on again soon, my friend.
Yes, thanks for having me, Andy.
Hey, you bet. Appreciate it. We got one more segment left right around the corner, wrapping things up for a Tuesday today. Elections tonight. What can we expect? We'll break that down when we come back around the corner. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Big government is broken. Every year, politicians fail to pass a budget as the deficit continues to grow. Every month, unelected bureaucrats pile on rules no one voted for, strangling our economy. And every day, DC's broken system gets in the way of the American dream. Washington isn't working, and the people pay the price. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe it's time to fix the system. Now, join the movement to make government work.
Oh, hey, sorry, I was just enjoying one of my snacks during the break. You know, it's hard to find good quality snacks without all the unhealthy additives, but I'm here to tell you that problem is over. It's time to enjoy J&S Smoked Snacks. Real cuts of beef, real wood smoke, and real flavor that's crafted in small batches to keep every bag fresh. And with numerous different flavors, you'll never get enough. This is not your average gas station jerky. It's J&S Smoked Snacks. Find them online at jssmokedsnacks.com and tell them I sent you.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy the Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more. We have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
America's safe space for common sense. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
The latest Democrat-led shutdown of DHS is reckless, it's unnecessary, and it undermines the American national security, and it harms the men and women who work at DHS and their families. Despite the House passing a bipartisan, bicameral full-year DHS funding bill, it is Senate Democrats who've chosen not to fund the department and have held this department hostage. As a result, critical national security missions, including border security, immigration enforcement, aviation security, disaster response, cybersecurity, and the protection of critical infrastructure are all being strained. Our ability to provide for a safe and successful World Cup is being hindered as well. More than 100,000 dedicated DHS employees are once again being asked to work without pay for the third time in just 5 months.
All right, so that was Kristi Noem during her hearing earlier today, and she hit it right on the button there. I mean, look, this is a shutdown. And again, I still blame Republicans at the end of the day for allowing the separation of DHS funding away from the appropriations process. But here we are. Now we've seen the gremlins coming out of the Democrat Party that have tried to take it to a whole new level from just, we want to reform ICE, to no, we want to completely abolish the agency altogether because we hate it because it's racist. Yeah. That's the world that we live in today, ladies and gentlemen. Want to tell you about my friends over at Americans for Prosperity. While we look at the government shutdown, we're also waiting on pins and needles for a health care replacement bill from Congress as well on ways to repeal Obamacare and give us better options. And we want options for you and I to choose our health insurance, right? Our health care plans for our personal individuals or our household or our business, whatever it may be. And I want you to go to the website, personaloption.com, personaloption.com, because right now, our friends at Americans for Prosperity putting pressure on Congress to try and come up with a proper bill. And you can figure out what you can do to be part of that movement, who to put pressure on, who to make a phone call to in their office, and what we can do to fight for more options in the healthcare sector. Go to personaloption.com or their friends over at Americans for Prosperity. Boy, we covered a lot of ground today, and it flew right on by. But we have elections coming up tonight. I cannot wait to break some of those results down tomorrow because this is really the first telltale sign, in my opinion, Not the November elections from last year, not the super-duper special elections that we've seen for the first month or two of the year when no one knew about them. They were in deep blue districts anyways, and Democrats applauded themselves for winning districts that they've already had. So the momentum, I'm not saying is coming from them right now, but time will tell and see exactly what we look like tonight. And outside of really special local elections across the nation, here in Wichita, where I'm based out of, there's a sales tax on the board right now. There's school bond issues across the country right now. But outside of those, there's some primaries and there's some special elections for what we could anticipate going into the November midterm elections. Maida Flores, a former congresswoman who was there for a short amount of time down in Texas, the first Mexican-born congresswoman, a big staunch Trump supporter, was on social media doing her last big campaign, Get Out the Push Vote, earlier today.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to take the time to thank you for all the love and support and encourage you to go out and vote. Today is election day, not just in Texas District 34, but in the entire state, and we have important races going on at the local level, at the state level, and at the federal level. President Trump is not going to be in the ballot in November, and it's going to be up to us to keep conservatives engaged and bring the momentum on our side. And the only way to do that is by electing your strongest fighters, your strongest conservatives in this primary. That's why it's so important for you to come out and vote. We cannot afford to send to Washington no more rhinos.
Yeah, I really, got to be honest, I'm really hoping she gets through there. Big fan of hers. I think she would do a fantastic job and representing the Hispanic community as a staunch conservative, a staunch Trump supporter, and a really big fan. By the way, there are elections across multiple different states tonight, including Texas, North Carolina, and Arkansas. But speaking of Texas for just a moment, this is where it's going to be interesting to see where the party stands in Texas right now, because there's a primary right now for the Senate race between current Senator John Cornyn, along with current Attorney General Ken Paxton and current Congressman Wesley Hunt. That's a big primary that's going on tonight. At the same time, there's the primary for the Senate, for the Democrat Senate primaries, and you can imagine who's in that race with Jasmine Crockett, the most racist elected official that we have in Congress right now, as a congresswoman running for that Senate seat. You can see how well that's going to turn out. I please let her get the nomination. Look, she's got the name recognition. I don't know the other guy. She's got the name recognition. Democrats could elect her thinking they're going on this radical path towards Zoran Mamdaniism, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez-isms, and they can try and bring that to Texas. Get her the nomination in the primary and see how well she does in the general. That would be a fun one to watch. There's other races we'll cover as well tomorrow when we get the results. Until then, get out the vote if it's in your area. You still got time to do so. We'll see you back on the radio here tomorrow for a Wednesday. Bye. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You know, when I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the voice of reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the voice of reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own voice of reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic. For information on all of our shows, links to podcasts, each show website or social media link, or to find out about everything we do to challenge the mainstream establishment, visit our website at HooserMedia.com. Again, that's HooserMedia.com, the future of media.